Good morning, children. The fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Every composite number can be expressed as a product of the primes, and this factorization is unique apart from the order in which the prime factors occur. It is our normal prime factorization method only. Let us take a composite number 60. What are the factors we can write for them? One of the factors is 30 and 2. Further 30 can be factorized 15 and 2. Again 15 can be factorized, it is 3 and 5, right? So finally 60, if we are writing, it is 3 into 5 into 2 into 2 only. Now another way of expressing 16 as a 10 into 6. 10 you factorize, it is 2 and 5, 6, 2 and 3, right? So what we can write here, 60 equal to 2 into 5 into 2 into 3. Okay. Another form of 60 is 15 and 4. 15 is equal to 3 and 5. Next 2 and 2 only. So 16 equal to 3 into 5 into 2 into 2. Okay. Next is 16 equal to 20 and 3. 20 is 5 and 4. Again 4 can be 2 and 2. So what is the order we got here? 60 equal to 5 into 2 into 2 into 3. So in all the 4 types of prime factorization you check, the factors are 3, 5 and 2 times 2 only. Here also 3, 5, 2 times 2. 2 times 2 and 5 and 3. 2 times 2, 5 and 3. So any way you factorize, the composite number 60 can be expressed as the product of the prime numbers, that is 2 into 2 into 5, 3 into 5, right? So we are getting the this prime factorization is unique. How many way you tried, but the prime factorization is coming like this only. What is it? 2 into 2 into 3 into 5. We are writing in the sitting order only, right? That is why the statement says that every composite number can be expressed as a product of the primes, right? And this factorization is unique apart from the order. So many can try in a many ways, but the order will be order can be different, but the number is the same only. That is why they are saying that this prime factorization is unique. So this theorem is called a fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Prove that there is no natural number for which 4 raised to n ends with a digit 0. So based on fundamental theorem of arithmetic, we have to prove this one. So first of all, what I want to say that the question is asked for end with the digit 0 only. If a number is end with the digit 0, see 10 is a number, so 2 end with the digit 0, 2 and 5 are the prime factorization. 100 if you take 2 into 5 whole square, we will write 20 will take 2 into 10, where prime factors are 2 into 5 only. So 2 and 5 are the prime factors for any number which end with the digit 0. Now we'll come to the question 4 raised to n. So 4 raised to n is the natural number they told. So we are taking 4 raised to 1. The factors are 2 into 2 whole raised to 1. That means 2 square raised to 1 only. Now 4 square I have taken because it's the next natural number. So 2 into 2 whole raised to 2, that is 2 square whole raised to 2 only. Suppose 4 raised to 3. So naturally it will be 2 raised to 2 whole raised to 3 only. Next we will go 4 raised to 10. Means what will happen? 2 square whole raised to 10. Okay. What is the next step? 4 raised to n only. So 4 raised to n means 2 square equal whole raised to n only, or we can say that 2 raised to n. So how many times if you try this one, the prime factors are only number 2 only. There is no number 5 only. So if a number ends with a digit 0, what is the conclusion we can make? It must have factors 2 and 5. So there is no 5 only. And we learned that fundamental theorem of arithmetic, that only one way is there for representing the product of the primes for any composite number. So the one way means it has only 2. There is no possibility of getting any prime factor other than 2. So how to write this question answer means solution. I'll write 4 raised to n equal to 2 square whole raised to n or 2 raised to 2n. That means the prime factorization of 4 raised to n equal to 2. The only prime number, the prime factorization of 4 raised to n equal to 2 raised to 2n implies it has only one prime number 2. And any number end with the digit 0 must have the prime numbers 2 and 5. Okay, so what is the conclusion here? By the uniqueness of fundamental theorem of arithmetics, we know that the prime factorization of 4 raised to n do not have prime number 5. Therefore, this implies, what is implies 4 raised to n does not end with digit 0 for any natural number n. Show that 12 raised to n cannot end with the digit 0 for any natural number n only. So this type of the question, the word of fundamental theorem of arithmetic uniqueness and its uniqueness, it must come there in the answer. That step carries the marker. So 12 raised to n can be written as 2 square into 3 whole raised to n only. So this shows that the prime factors are prime numbers, or we can write primes in prime factorization of 12 raised to n are 2 and 3 only. So this prime factorization is unique. Second point. Now what is the next point? By the uniqueness of fundamental theorem of arithmetic, we can say that twelve raised n would not have any prime number 5. In the prime factorization. So what we can say that therefore 12 raised to n cannot end with digit 0 for any natural number n. Find LCM and HCF by prime factorization method. The first number is 6 and 20 only, right? So method is specified, it is prime factorization only possible for us. So what is the next step? LCM and HCF. So we will write a prime factorization of 6 now. 6 equal to 2 into 3. Again 20 equal to 2 into 5. So in terms of the power we are learning, so 2 square into 5. Now for HCF of 6 and 20, what we should take? Actually by the HCF itself we know that it is a highest common factor only. Now see that 2 is the power 1 here and 2 is having power the 2 here. So least power is which one? 2 raised to 1 only. So we'll take 2 only. Now 3 and 3 is not common, so we cannot go for that, and 5 is also not common, so we cannot go there. C means it is a common only, so only we can take which is HCF here, it is 2 only. Now the next step is what is LCM. LCM means we should take the greatest power of each primes and their product. Greatest power means it is 2 raised to 1 and 2 square, which is the greatest power? 2 square. Next 3 is here. Here no 3 is there. Meaning is what? 3 to the power 0 is there. So which is the highest in that? 3 raised to 1 only. Similarly in the case of 5 also. Here 5 raised to 0 is there, right? And here 5 raised to 1 is there. So which is the highest power? So 5 raised to 1 only. So what is the HCF for us here? It is equal to 30 only. For 2 square is 4 into this is that is equal to 60. So 60 is the LCM. So HCF means what we have taken? Product of the smallest powers. Product of smallest power of each primes. Whereas LCM means product of highest power or greatest power of each prime number involved in that. So here 2 is least for finding the HCF, but for LCM which is the greatest power. So we should remember these points. Number is 70 and 30. So HCF is equal to, or 70 we should write as 7 into 10. That means 7 into 2 into 5. We should write in the order only. So least number, that is 2, then 5, then 7. Similarly 30 means 3 into 10. Then again 3 into 2 into 5. Again we have to go for in the ascending order. So first comes 2, then 3, then 5. So now the question is asked for what is the HCF and LCM. HCF means we already told it's a common factor only and the least power. See 2 raised to 1 and 2 raised to 1. So 2 is there. HCF is equal to 2 only, which is common. Here 3 is there, but here no 3. That means 3 raised to 0 only, but there is no common for 3. So we cannot take. What about a 5? 5 is also here and here also is there, for the power is 1 only. So it is equal to 10. Now what about LCM? LCM means highest power. For in the case of 2 both are same only. So 2 we can take, but here 3 is there, here 3 is not there. But whenever we are taking LCM, it is not based on the common property. We have to go for the multiple, which is the least common multiple. So 3 means here 1 only power, but at the same time 3 to the power is 0 here is there. So which is the highest? 3 we should take down. 5 and 5, so 5 again. Now you tell me whether we have to take down 7 or not. To be take down 7 must be take down, because in 7 is present here. That means 5 into 2, 10 only. 10 into 3 into 7, that means 210 only. So HCF is 10 and LCM equal to 210. So we got HCF and LCM respectively. So when we are taking for the HCF, it is the least power to be taken and their product, and LCM highest power to be taken and finally their product. HCF of 306 and 657 is 9. Find the LCM of 306 and 657. So the numbers are 306 and 657 only. Then HCF is equal to 9. It is given. LCM is question mark. And the two numbers are 306 and 657. What is the next step? We know that HCF into LCM equal to product of the two numbers. This formula we can use here. HCF is 9, LCM is the question mark, and the numbers are 306 into 657 only. So LCM equal to 306 into 657 divided by 9. So we can cancel with 9. 9 sevens are 63, 27. So 9 threes are. So 306 into 73 is the number. So it is equal to 22338. Explain why 7 into 11 into 13 plus 13 is a composite number. What is the meaning of the composite number? It must have powers more than 2 only. So the numbers are 7 into 11 into 13 plus 13. This shows that we should take the product of this and add 13 only. Now if you compare this one, 13 I can take out common. Next, what is remaining? 7 into 11 plus 1 only. So 13 into 77 plus 1. So 13 into 78. So here what happens? 13 into 78 shows that it is having more than 2 factors. See, when 13 itself is taking 1 and 13 will come. 78 itself taking 1 and 78 will come. So 78 is a factor, 13 is a factor, 1 is a factor. So already more than 2 factors we got. So we can say that it is having more than 2 factors, therefore it is a composite number. Such type of the questions, there is no need of writing the product and all. It is very clear from here there it is having more than 2 factors. So if anybody is having doubt, they can take the product and do. Otherwise 78 factors you can take list out. So what we are done here, we have taken which is the common means 13 itself is having 2 factors, 1 and 13. So what is then remaining the bracket? 7 into 11 plus 1, so 78. So just to make the conclusion that it is having more than 2 factors, therefore it is a composite number only. So composite number means it is more than 2 factors, and prime number means it is having only 2 factors, which is the number and the number 1 itself. So here it is not like that. Definitely it is having more than 2 factors, therefore it is a composite number. So there is no need of taking the product. We can write and show the property here. So with this, today's class I am winding up. Thank you.